Okay, this is just a quick video on how to debug the problem where your power windows and your power seat do not operate on a 92 Stealth twin turbo. Probably will work with other models as well. Okay, the first thing you want to check is the fuse. Notice this is WDO, that's for window. Corresponds to this 30 amp fuse here. Got to wiggle it back and forth a little bit. You can pull it out, and what you want to do is check and make sure you have power here. The other thing you want to do is check and make sure you have continuity across there. You can do that with a cheap little voltmeter. So that's the first place to check. Next thing you want to do is go down to your relay. Oh, by the way, the other things that can go wrong, and probably will go wrong, is your window regulators. A lot of times they could have blown this fuse that we're talking about. So as you can see right now, let's see if you can see, just behind this multi-fuse panel is a little white box. And that little white box, you can see up in here, I have a paper clip jumping across these two terminals. And what that does for me is allows me to debug. Normally there's a relay sitting in there, and I'll show you that relay here. Okay, so that relay is this one here. This is the stock relay that you get, and a lot of people have complained on the forums about how do you get this thing out of here. Well, it's not really that easy. What you need to do, take a little screwdriver, stick it under here, and just pry up. You can see the edges. Let's see if I can get a better light on this situation here. So you can see the edges have little flexible tabs. Now you can try to pry those out. Somebody said they could use a toothpick and stick underneath that right in here to pry these little pieces out, and so that helps. I think in this case it was actually overkill. These are little flexible tabs. You can see me bending it here. So people have wrestled with those like we do on our Stealths in tight places. So this is the replacement one. You see it doesn't have the skirt. There's no skirt on this one, yet all the terminals are the same. Right here, those all are the same. So how does a relay work? Just quickly, basically you've got a little diagram on the side, and what this does is this, when power is sent across these two terminals, it drives a little motor that closes the switch here. So these are the two, what you'd say, low amperage connections, and these are the high amperage connections. And so really all you're concerned about when you're debugging is that you're getting power from this terminal to that terminal, and so that's where my paper clip was jumped across here. This sole purpose is to make sure that this is closed or open at any given time. So that's what you did. I got this one at AutoZone, and cost me about $7-8. Let's see if we can get a part number on that thing. There's the SKU. It's like 28C16 is the replacement part number. Now I'm going to put this in here, and I'm not going to have any kind of worries at all about not having the skirt in here, because this skirt really made it nearly impossible to get this relay out. So Bear with me for 1 second here. What we'll do now is take out that paper clip. And replace the relay. Let's see if we can get you. Okay, so you can see my paper clip here. It's gonna yank that out. That's that. Now I'm gonna put in the new relay. Now I don't think the relay was actually my problem, but you know, I'm not sure exactly what it was because it just started working this morning. And the trouble is it's an intermittent problem anyways. So I'm gonna have that down. Let's see, can't put my head in there. So that's my relay right up in here. Okay, so this relay controls both the power going to the power seats and to the power, actually the driver's seat, and to the power windows. Now the other thing that can control and can go bad is something called an ETACS. And I'm pointing to it here. This is held in by a couple bolts. Couple bolts on either side here. Come out. There's a couple connectors on this side that need to come out. And these can go bad also, and they can cause this problem where your windows and your seats don't work correctly. One way to check that, someone said, was to turn your car off and wait for your seat belt to release. Now Speedy suggested that this little connector that is in your door panel, I don't know if you can see where I'm at right now, but it's right in here, and that this little connector would be bad. In my case, it isn't. This connector seemed to be just fine. I guess some of the pins can be bent at this point. But what I did is I checked a connection or continuity in between this black and blue wire right here and my relay. And at first I was not getting any. And then I checked my ground, and then I was able to get continuity to here. So actually to power to here. So I checked power after I jumped my relay to here. Also I checked power. There's also a black and blue wire right in here that can be checked. And so I checked that first. I took this connector off, and then I checked that, and then I took this connector off, which is the this is the connector that is for the door. You can see I have my door panel off. It goes to the door switch, so you need to have power going to here. And ultimately, the last thing I did that seemed to fix my problem was I cleaned off my grounding points. So I cleaned off this grounding point in the engine, and then I cleaned off my other grounding point, which is just below your battery, which is a little harder to see, which is back in there. If I can get the light right for that or not. Might be a little harder, but there's a grounding point right there. So I cleaned those two off, and then it started working. So I think the issue is that the motors that drive your windows are high amperage, and so if you have any kind of grounding issue at all, it can show up there. We'll show up there first. But those are all the locations to check. If you have any questions, feel free to blog me, or not blog me, but send me a comment and I will find the answer out for you, hopefully. And thanks for watching.